I have been wired since Saturday.
Take notes.
Big Beach!
We're here.
My man Alan
It's different this time.
What's up, guys?
How you doing, Mom? What was that?
I
like
am on a high, and I know we were talking about selling the tickets for tomorrow night's game, but I don't care. We are going to that game. We have to watch the Knicks win in a playoff series in the Garden. That's happening tomorrow.
We're here. Let's talk about game one for a second. Obviously, you guys would have seen the recap show and all that. I didn't want to talk about the game specifically. We've exhausted that. That experience, it's hard to put into words. I told you, it's like a top 3 sporting experience in my life. I know there have been crazy games in the past. The 2013 playoffs were not like that, right? I was too young to go to the playoffs. Like in the late 90s, I was watching a TV at home. But the vibe at the Garden, given COVID, given everything, was insane. And the energy was ridiculous. The players said today they felt their floor shaking.
It was absolutely electric. And yes, it felt like the entire building was levitating over New York City. That's how it felt. And the crowd there was insane. It felt like no COVID ever happened. There was this one little section that was for the non-vaccinated people. It was a small section, it seemed like, because the rest of the arena was packed. I mean, yeah. I was in awe, and we've been to the arena packed all the time, but it was like so special, I guess, because of everything we've gone through, to see everyone together like that, and the camaraderie between the Knicks fans outside and inside. There's a love, there's this like family. It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
That's the best way to put it. I'll say this: we're vaccinated, of course. If the vaccine doesn't work, then I definitely have COVID, because I hugged and high-fived so many random people. That was a moment. And the thing is, I was talking to Jeremy Cohen, Knicks Film School, you know him, shout out to Jeremy. Yeah, and we were texting yesterday, and he was telling me, and we felt the same way. We were like, as obviously heartbreaking to lose like that at the end, but that game was such a moment. It's hard to even, as much as you can be angry about the result, that experience was such an experience. It felt like a bucket list thing. Like, you can't describe it. Like, I'm never gonna forget game one for the rest of my life. The funny thing is, and this is why the Knicks are important to the NBA, that game, everything that happened from Trae Young and the shushing, the FU Trae Young chants, the entire discourse around it. Mayor de Blasio today saying stuff about it. Ben Stiller tweeting about it. Like, this is why the Knicks are so important to the NBA. We make things bigger. The game broke, it was like the best Knicks game, I think, on TNT in 8 years. And I'm positive, remember, half of that audience was watching MSG, if not more than half. Right. So imagine what the ratings would have been if not. Tomorrow night's game's ratings, everyone in the NBA is watching this game. This has become the talk of the first round. It's insane. But let's get into game 2. We have some issues in game 1. And also, you may not know, Jess broke. Nerlens Noel is doubtful with a sprained ankle, which is now, that's our 2 starting centers, with Mitch out as well. So Tibbs is going to have to go small. There are going to be things to figure out there. But game 2 tomorrow night, a must win, really. You can't go to Atlanta down 2-zip. And the big thing I know you want to talk about, Julius Randle was really bad in his playoff debut for the Knicks. And it's fine, but he knows it. He said it. He got to adjust. Right.
Well, I would say this, not only was he really bad and he didn't score, but he also, and I heard Stephen A talking about this, he was trying to get a basket, obviously, but there's also a way that you can play off the ball, and he also wasn't doing that. It was almost as if he was conditioned that his only play was to try to score, and so he wasn't creating any other plays. And that's something that's important, because if he was creating the plays, obviously, so to me, he looked like he was a little nervous, and he was a little, maybe nervous is not the correct word, but listen, that crowd was incredible, and I'm sure that shook them a little bit, because they saw little crowds before, but nothing like that. The noise was ridiculous, so I could see him being a little off of his regular game, right? So so I'm not able to score. Because they had many opportunities. Him and RJ and not Burks, Bullock had quite a few opportunities to actually score. So if you're not scoring now and the ball's not going in, because sometimes that happens, the ball is just not going in, then start to create plays in other places on the court. It's not only about getting the ball in the hoop.
Yeah, and the thing is, listen, Randle's an excellent passer all season long. He's been great at it. What I thought happened in this game, and this is where the playoffs come into play, Nate McMillan's an excellent coach. You're not playing, we lost by, one basket at the end, right? The playoffs means no matter, you can play really well, it doesn't matter. You're not going to win by 20 because you played well. Everyone's good now. You're not playing bad players and bad coaches anymore. There are games in the regular season where Tibbs just completely outcoached some other coach, and it didn't matter. Now, even if Tibbs is at his best, Nate McMillan could be just there with him, and McMillan was great. McMillan, out of every timeout, they executed, they got buckets. We didn't look that good out of timeouts. I thought the late game execution wasn't good either. And with Randle specifically, he's not really an off-ball player. The thing is, Randle isn't really selfish, but when he does dominate the ball, it's kind of like LeBron. We always bring it up. He has the ball, he's going to make the pass, or he's going to make the shot. What the Hawks did so well is they set what's known as a soft double. So you can double team Randle, which you've been seeing him get all season. He swings the ball around, one pass, two passes, open three in the corner for Burks or Bullock. It's been consistent all season long. What the Hawks have been doing, which is, we've seen it at times this season, it's not unique, but they're executing it all playoffs with Randle specifically as a focus, is you send a soft double, which is basically you start to kind of double him, but you don't really commit. So now it's like the middle of doubling him and not doubling him, which makes his decision making that much harder. Last year, we saw Randle struggle to pass the ball at the double teams, keep the ball too long, lose the ball, turnover, spin into a move, all that stuff. This year, he's recognizing the double teams quicker. He's making decisions. The third evolution of that is the soft double, because when you can navigate soft doubles, when you can tell, it's like being on a straight. You can tell, okay, that's a double coming. Because what the Hawks are doing is they're making him think, okay, double's coming, let me pass it, but they didn't really commit yet. Yeah. It's like a perfect midpoint. So listen, he's going to adjust. I love what he said after the game. No excuses. I was bad. I won't be that again. Tibbs knows how to adjust. I'm not really worried about Randle. And I will say this, the fact that we were in that game, given how he played and given all the craziness, is good. It shows you that we should execute. We should win this game, provided he can do what he's been doing all season long. And I'm not worried about it. I don't think... I'm not saying Randle's going to shoot amazingly in the playoffs. A lot of players shoot bad even if you have good games because the defense is just that much better. But I do think Randle will bounce back. He's bounced back from way worse. Last year's bounce back to this season is way more than anything he has to do for the rest of the series. So I am not worried about it. But what should we be worried about? And let's talk about the Birdman for a second. What happened to that boy? I've been tweeting all day about it. So you may have heard of the Trae Young bird phobia thing. I don't know who's going to show up in a bird suit to the garden tomorrow.
We're about to play some Alfred Hitchcock Birds music in the background.
But I want to talk about just Trae Young, the birds, the craziness. And I know you feel very strongly about this, that we should leave him alone.
Okay, so being a little bit older, when I started hearing them chanting F Trae Young, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe they're saying this. But it was literally like the entire arena was saying F Trae Young, F Trae Young. And I was like, you can't do that. I didn't even say it because I was like, that's like kind of wild.
You didn't say it. I said it. Right. You let me to dry.
I didn't say it. However, what I saw immediately, and I said it to you immediately, I was like, he loves this. I was like, this is totally egging him on. This is actually doing wonders for him. And you told me that he's accustomed to this. Back in his college days, he was always hated. So he is accustomed to having fans shouting and yelling at him. And you saw what he did at the end. He was like, shush. And then he even said, what did he say?
It's real quiet in here.
Say again?
It's real quiet in here now.
He said it's real quiet in here. But that was, to me, that was clearly egging him on. So how I feel, and I know this is not going to happen, but the more attention we pay to him, he's liking that. Listen, him and Spike Lee about to do a freaking Nike commercial together. Right? That's what's about to happen because I'm watching the interaction and I'm like, this is totally feeding him. And so what I would love to see, I know it's not going to happen, but what I'd love to see is for us to just pay him no mind. Don't say shit. We could boo him, but don't even call his name. Don't even call his name in your mouth because he's then going to be like, oh, what happened? That will mess him up because he's coming there tomorrow expecting those chants to be even stronger and even bigger. If he comes tomorrow and there's nothing, he's going to be like, wait a minute, what happened? You all throw me off. Now what is that called? Reverse psychology. I know it's not going to happen, but yeah, that's my 2 cents. Zip it up. Don't say shit about Trae Young. He ain't even on our radar. Body him. First of all, wait, let me just say this too. He's little. He's a small guy. Why are we not bodying him? Why are we not throwing him down on the ground? You think that's you want to shake him up? That's going to shake him up. Because here's what he said. He said the fans can say all they want. The fans are not guarding him. The fans are not playing against him. So he don't give a shit what we're saying. Let some of those Knicks players on the court throw him down. RJ's big enough to do it. Even Frank's big enough to do it. Gibson's big. All of our guys are big. Actually, every single one of our guys are bigger than him. So you tell him we can't knock him down on the ground? I don't even care if he goes to the free throw line. Let him get shook. Let his body get physically shook, because that will shake him up mentally. And that's what I think the Knicks need to do tomorrow night. Get him on the ground. Hurt him. Hurt him.
Oh boy. YouTube about to ban us. All right, I'll say this. I don't want to hurt him. You know what I mean. But yeah, you gotta get physical. You gotta get physical. And the thing is, there's ways to get physical that are not, malicious, right? I'll give you a good example. Dylan Brooks. I mean, you saw the end of that Memphis Golden State playing game. Dylan Brooks was guarding Steph Curry, and Dylan Brooks was not leaving him alone. He was annoying. He was on him. We just need to look. Trae Young got 2 offensive rebounds, which blew my mind. I remember watching this, and I'm like, how is he getting an offensive rebound in the middle of all these trees in the paint? We have to mix up how we huh?
I said it was his own rebound he was getting too.
He was getting his own rebound. Yeah, we need to mix up how we match up with him. We need to give him different looks. Reggie Bullock did. Now, first of all, Trae Young been talking, I think, a bit too much. I genuinely think he's been talking a bit too much. Don't get me wrong. Post game, the shush, that's all fine. I get that's in the moment. But he's posted stuff to Twitter, posted IG, where he's in the the back area where we were sometimes when the players come out. He's walking through the garage area, saying it's real quiet in here. I guess game 1, Reggie Bullock commented under his video on IG an emoji of a notepad. Like, I'm taking notes.
Take note. Right?
Take note, exactly. So, listen, I think Reggie Bullock's actually going to be maybe the main guy that has a big difference in terms of like how we defend him. He's our, of the starting lineup, he's the best defender. We're going to maybe see him on him more. We'll figure it out. They have to mix it up. Now, this is the thing with the playoffs. Adjustments go both ways. Nate McMillan is not... He knows now they're going to come extra hard for Trae Young. Right. And they have enough shooters. That's why they constructed the roster like this, right? They got shooters everywhere. They can move the ball around. They can figure things out. So it's all about it's a chess match, the counter move. Let's see how things work out. They got to mix it up. You can't let Trae Young play that well. But the crazy thing, and I'll go back to Randle, Trae Young did what he's supposed to do as the star of that team. If Julius Randle played his game, it didn't matter what Trae Young did in that game. He would have won.
Yeah,
you know what
exactly.
I mean?
Yeah, it was a 2-point game. It was a 2-point game, and our lead scorers didn't do anything.
Yeah, they didn't do. That RJ dunk did a lot to me. It did a lot. That's the thing. I'm sorry to go back to game 1, but there was so many things in game 1 that felt already almost like all-time Knicks moments to remember. The IQ 3 when the guard and he ran back down the court. He loved it. The Obi dunk, the Nerlens Noah block, the RJ dunk, those were moments, and it just feels so good to see us like back in important games. And it really does show you, we're so used to the regular season. It's a different sport. The playoffs are a different sport.
Just real quickly, Emmanuel Quickly and Obi Toppin look totally playoff ready. They didn't look shy at all. To be honest, they seem to play, and I know they didn't play that many minutes, but they seem to play more confident than Julius and RJ.
I wouldn't say RJ as much. I think the problem with RJ wasn't really RJ himself. It's something we've seen so much where RJ is just not getting the ball enough, right? RJ had a couple of good moments. I think he sat the first 6 minutes of the fourth quarter, I think. I'm trying to remember. But we've seen this happen many times. RJ has some moments, does some things, then he just doesn't get the ball enough late. And then, maybe we give him to him too late, or he's not, in the flow of the offense and things like that. We didn't move the ball too well late. The thing is, we were up by 3 points with 1 minute and 11 seconds left. So the thing is, to go from up 3 to lose by 2 means there's a 5-point swing in a minute. That is, and honestly, I'm going to go back to the last.
It's a long time.
Huh?
A minute is a long time.
It's not, no, but it's not a long time to be up. Think about it. Technically, that's 2 possessions, right? You're up 3. Right. It's not tied. You're up 3. It's not like they ended up tied. They ended up winning by 2. We lost a 5-point lead in a minute in a playoff game at the end. Like, come on, there's no excuses for that. And I thought we didn't execute well at all. The last play, right, where Trae Young got past Frank and hit the floater, there was so much confusion. If you remember watching at the Garden, and people on TV saw it, I think maybe a bit clearer. But Frank was on the inbound play, kind of doing his thing. They realized Burks didn't know he was supposed to be on the court. They look over to the bench. I think Frank started saying there's only 4 players on the court. Burks was confused. Same said, like, they couldn't hear each other. There was so much confusion. And there's actually a tweet out that shows how we approached plays like this in the past. Recently, when we played the Hornets, 2 weeks ago or a week ago or whatever, the last play of the game, we kind of did the same thing. But there's this argument that Frank probably wasn't even supposed to be on Trae. He was supposed to help on Trae if Trae got past Burks or whatever. So I feel, and then to add on to that, on the offensive end, we went right back down the other end, and the end play was horrible. Nothing happened. We didn't even get a shot off. To be honest, I didn't even know why Julius was taking it. I love Julius. We're rocking with Julius, but he's not been that great in late game situations, and I actually prefer Burks or Rose taking that shot.
Burks was on a roll. Burks was on a roll. So to me, that last play was supposed to go to Burks. Actually, Randle was the last person it was supposed to go to, only because of the game he was having. Right, this is the entire game. Talking about literally the last possession. Absolutely should have gone to Burks. And if Burks missed, I would have been fine with that. When Randle threw it up, it was kind of like, it's not going to go in. It hasn't been going in.
It didn't matter. The clock went. This is the thing for me. The clock literally went while he had it in his hand. So to me, 0.9 seconds isn't a ton of time, but it's more than enough time to get a shot off.
Right.
You gotta get a shot off if it's the end of it. You have to get your shot off. It's ridiculous to miss it. But I mean, to not even get it off. But going into game 2, let's wrap up here. We're going. Screw it. We're going to the Garden. My girlfriend's calling me. I gotta know. Hold on. We're filming. Yo, we're filming. I'm gonna have to call you after. She's gonna be on the show now. She says, "What's up?" She says, "Sorry." Yeah. So
is that my beautiful daughter-in-law?
Shout out to my girlfriend. All right. So game 2, she's upset. She's like, "Is this playoff thing done yet?" But game 2.
She's probably, actually, to be honest, she's probably the only person who's upset that the Knicks made it into the playoffs.
No, she's not upset. Oh yeah, it's not a bad point. I actually just told her I gotta bring her to a game. We gotta bring her to this playoff atmosphere because I wanted to see what this is like. Because I don't think people understand what this shit is like. That was madness. Game 2. The thing is, you're talking about Trae Young. It's gonna be crazier. The thing is about that chant is it was so random. It was just a couple of guys. I'm pretty sure it happened in the section next to us.
Yeah.
We were there. People were screaming. It was a vibe. Those random guys just said it right before the game. It wasn't some coordinated plan. No one was thinking about Trae Young on that level going into the Garden. He just, it was hype. He screamed it. It took on a life of its own. Game 2, it's going to if there's I would bet my life on it happening because of what happened in game 1 and everything he said after. So it's definitely going to be that. Thing is, though, I think this is happening on the court, right? We were in this game late. It was a close game, right? We messed up some execution points. I don't think we're going to mess up on, tomorrow. This is a team, I still think we could win this series in 6 games, but tomorrow is a must win. We just got to come up with fire. Remember as well, we did not start that game off well. We keep forgetting that sometimes. We were down by 10 points, 8 points early. We were excited because it was the playoffs and everyone was excited. But do you remember how we had so many bricks in that first quarter? You could constantly remember the crowd being like, it was 16-24 at one point, I think. So we definitely didn't execute well early or late. We had a nice run in the middle. But if you come out tomorrow playing good basketball from the jump, I think we're going to be able to get this win. And we need to. Listen,
there's going to be adjustments made. We know that. Our defense wasn't great, and we are a top defensive team. So once we play the defense, to me, once we play really good defense, which we weren't playing, we let not just Trae Young, Bogdanovich, and Lou Williams, Lou Lemon Pepper Williams. We let those guys run all over us. We let Trae Young get to the basket with ease. So to me, we got to play that defense. We got to play that hard New York playoff defense, slow down the game. Because those guys are real quick, and we typically do play a slower pace anyway. So slow down the game, make the game on our pace, on our floor, which is the Garden floor, and play defense. Body those guys. Those guys are smaller than us. Not all of them, but they're smaller than us. Body them. We got to get this game too.
We outside. We here. Game 2. We're going to be in the building. You said it. I'm taking the tickets down, but I'm selling it. Peace out, guys. Thanks for watching.